Ever experienced the pain of being let down by someone you considered a friend? It's a tough reality, but not everyone who appears friendly truly has your best interests at heart. Occasionally, individuals wear a facade of friendship solely to exploit you for their own advantage. Our video today delves into this challenging subject. We're going to highlight 7 unmistakable signs that someone is using you instead of cherishing your friendship. This is about awakening to the harsh reality of insincere relationships. Stay with us as we lead you through recognizing and distancing yourself from these detrimental connections. Your well-being is important, and it's vital to surround yourself with authentic individuals. Hit subscribe to join us on this journey of self-awareness and personal growth. Principle number 1: consistent disrespect. In the intricate dance of human connections, a subtle yet potent signal often goes unnoticed: the persistent absence of respect. Envision a relationship where your value is consistently underestimated, where your time and emotions are assumed. Isn't it jarring when someone regularly cancels plans at the last minute, arrives tardily, or worse, doesn't bother showing up? This disregard, this habitual sidelining of your needs, isn't just impolite. It's a red flag waving in the breeze of a one-sided relationship. Why does it hurt when someone you value treats you as an afterthought? It's because respect forms the foundation of any authentic connection. It's not just about being courteous, it's about recognizing and treating each other as equals. When someone consistently prioritizes their needs over yours, it's not merely disrespectful, it's a signal that you're in a relationship with someone who views you as an option, not a priority. Let's be realistic. We're all human and occasionally slip up. We might run late, forget plans, or be a bit self-centered on a bad day. The key distinction in a healthy relationship: these are exceptions, not the rule. There's an effort, an apology, a sincere attempt to do better next time. In contrast, a person who consistently acts without regard for you isn't just having a bad day. They're revealing a pattern of disregard. So, what's your response to this ongoing lack of respect? It's more than just recognizing the issue. It's about valuing yourself enough to demand better. It's about understanding that relationships should uplift, not drag you down. It's about realizing you have the power and the right to walk away from those who don't value you. As we navigate the intricacies of human interactions, remember that it's not just about being aware of how others treat us. It's also about recognizing our own worth. Relationships should be a source of strength, not stress. They should be built on mutual respect, not one-sided efforts. So ask yourself, are you being respected, or are you being taken for granted? The answer might just be the key to unlocking healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Principle number 2: lack of detailed personal interest. When you're with someone who genuinely cares, you can feel it. Their eyes light up when you share your stories, and they're there to hold your hand through your troubles. That's what a genuine connection feels like. It's a two-way street where both parties are equally invested in each other's lives. But sometimes, it's not so. Sometimes you find yourself in the company of someone who cares not for your well-being or your thoughts. Imagine a dialogue that always revolves around them, their troubles, their triumphs. You feel like a mirror, not a friend. This situation is painfully common. You find yourself in the company of someone who sees you more as a convenience than a confidant. Your stories, struggles, and successes don't seem to matter unless they directly benefit them. It's a hard pill to swallow, realizing you might be just a character in the backdrop of their life, not a co-star in a shared story. The absence of genuine interest and empathy in a relationship is like a silent alarm. It nudges you to take a closer look at the people in your life. Do they value you for who you are, or for what you can do for them? Are your conversations a balanced exchange, or do you feel like you're just playing a role? Such realizations can stir a whirlwind of emotions, from anger to sorrow, but there's a silver lining. Recognizing these red flags is the first step in seeking out healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It's about finding people who celebrate you, not just using you. In the end, it's about understanding your worth and ensuring that those around you see and appreciate your true value. Remember, you deserve to be more than just an audience to someone's one-man show. You deserve a relationship that's built on mutual respect, interest, and care. Relationships are a mosaic of moments, some sparkling with joy, others shaded with discomfort. When you find yourself repeatedly questioning the sincerity of someone's presence in your life, it's like a red flag waving in the wind. How many times have you felt alone in a room with them, their absence in your moments of need screaming louder than words? It's tough acknowledging that someone you count on is using you, but it's a truth that demands attention. Think about the last time you said no in your relationship. Did it feel like breaking a taboo? In a healthy bond, no is not just a word. It's a statement of your self-worth. It's about expressing your boundaries, and if they're constantly crossed or ignored, it's a clear sign that the scales of your relationship are uneven. The act of defining what's acceptable to you isn't just about setting limits for others. It's a form of self-love. Confrontation is never easy, especially when emotions cloud your judgment. But in a relationship that feels more draining than fulfilling, it's essential. How do you bring up your feelings without sparking a conflict? It's a delicate dance of being honest, yet non-accusatory. It's about saying, "Here's how I feel," rather than "here's what you did wrong." Sometimes this open-hearted conversation can turn the tide, offering a chance for change. But what if things don't change? Seeking support becomes your lifeline. It's not just about venting, it's about gaining perspective. A friend, a family member, or a therapist can be a mirror reflecting the realities you might be blind to. They remind you that your worth isn't defined by how others treat you. Your value is inherent, shining brightly even in relationships that fail to recognize it. Principle number 3, surface-level connection. Ever had that sensation when you're conversing with someone and it all seems superficial? That's a signal of a surface-level bond. It's like walking on thin ice, where beneath the casual talk and laughter, there's an empty space, no depth, no genuine connection. It's a dance of shadows with familiar steps, but the rhythm remains unchanged. Picture this. You meet someone, the conversation flows, but it's all about the weather, the latest movies, or dinner plans. Weeks and months pass, yet you're still on the same script. Their fears, dreams, and what keeps them awake at night remain unknown. It's like a play where the actors never break character. Why does this happen? It's a mask, a defense mechanism. They keep their true selves locked away, and you're left skimming the surface but never breaking through. It's frustrating, right? You invest your time and energy, but what do you get in return? A shadow of a relationship. It's not just about feeling alone in a crowd. It's about recognizing when a relationship is stuck in the shallows. It prompts you to question, am I settling for a mirage? Is this all there is? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. This realization serves as a wake-up call. It's time to ask the tough questions. Are you satisfied with the superficial, or do you yearn for a deeper connection? Are you willing to settle for less than you deserve? Superficial bonds signal a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same. The other leads to the unknown, where genuine connections might await. It's a bold choice that requires courage to step away from the familiar and comfortable, seeking something more authentic. But isn't that what we all long for? To be understood, to share our inner world with someone who genuinely cares. It's not just about finding someone to chat with. It's about discovering someone to connect with on a level that transcends the everyday. When you start seeking deeper connections, you open yourself to the possibility of something more enriching. Yes, it's scary. There's a risk of vulnerability, of opening up and not receiving the same in return. But isn't that risk worth taking if it leads you to a place where you can share your hopes, fears, and dreams? Principle number 4. Guilt induction and manipulation. Pause and reflect on instances when you've been trapped with phrases like, "If you truly cared, you would do this," or "I've done so much for you. Can't you do this one thing for me?" These are not just words. They are traps laced with guilt designed to lure you into doing things against your will. It's manipulation at its peak, concealed under a guise of concern and duty. Now, question why your kindness should be turned against you. Why should your empathy become a tool in someone else's toolkit? It's not merely about being coerced into uncomfortable situations. It's a deliberate erosion of your self-esteem, casting doubt on your judgment and making you question your own emotions. It's a gradual toxin that undermines your confidence, leaving you feeling helpless. However, recognizing this emotional chess game is your initial step to breaking free. It's about comprehending that your feelings are significant and that your no holds weight. It's about realizing that in a garden of robust relationships, respect, trust, and mutual understanding flourish, not guilt and manipulation. So, what's your response when confronted with these situations? Do you persist in bending until you break, or do you stand resolute, reclaiming your right to choose, to feel, to be? Remember, challenging these manipulative maneuvers is not just an act of defiance. It's an act of self-love. It's asserting, "I am more than someone's emotional plaything. I deserve better." By facing this truth directly, you're not only safeguarding your emotional well-being, you're embarking on a journey toward healthier, more gratifying relationships. It's a route that may not be effortless, but leads to a destination where your emotions are honored, not exploited. After all, isn't that what we all merit? Principle number 5. Limited availability. In every connection, there's a flow, a mutual exchange that keeps the harmony intact. But what if the rhythm becomes one-sided? You're consistently there, a steady presence offering an ear, a hand, or your time. However, when you seek reciprocation, there's only a chilly, hollow silence. Consider the instances when you've stood as a reliable support, freely giving without reservation. Your phone buzzes, and it's them again, seeking advice, a favor, or just a listening ear. You respond unfailingly, yet when you're down, bearing the weight of the world, where are they? Your messages linger in the digital abyss, unanswered. Your calls become part of a list of neglected connections. If they do reply, it's a swift shift in conversation, deflecting from your needs. This imbalance, this selective availability, is a conspicuous warning sign. It loudly declares the harsh reality. You're present for them, but they're absent for you. It's a bitter pill to swallow, recognizing that your care and concern flow in one direction without return. This isn't just a lack of consideration, it's a deliberate disregard for your feelings and needs. The scales are tipped. Your efforts, empathy, and time all seem taken for granted. It's a wake-up call, a moment of truth. Are you in a relationship that nurtures both ways, or are you merely a convenience, a temporary solution for someone else's needs? It's time to introspect, to ask the tough questions in the mirror. Where do you stand? How much of yourself are you willing to give without receiving the same in return? It's not just about them. It's about you, your self-worth, and your boundaries. It's a moment to decide if you're valued as you should be, if the scales can find equilibrium, or if it's time to step back and find a rhythm that respects both giving and receiving. Principle number 6. Absence in crucial moments. When you ponder the connections we build with others, what comes to mind first? Is it the shared laughter over coffee or the comforting silence on a long drive? Often, we gauge our connections through these light, effortless moments. But what about when life throws a curveball? When things get tough, do these same individuals stand by you, or do they disappear like shadows at noon? Let's explore a scenario. You're dealing with a personal crisis, reaching out in the hope of finding a shoulder to lean on. Instead, you encounter an empty space where you anticipated your friend or partner to be. Words are spoken, yes, but they ring hollow, echoing with a lack of genuine concern. It's as if your struggle is an inconvenient interruption in their lives. In these unguarded moments, when chips are down, the true face of a relationship surfaces. Isn't it remarkable how absence can speak louder than words? That silence, the void where support should be, is overwhelming. It narrates a tale of indifference, a dearth of empathy more piercing than any harsh word. Accepting this reality is a tough pill to swallow. It compels us to confront the harsh truth that our emotional investment in the relationship may have been a one-way street. What we believed was a deep mutual connection might have been merely a surface-level convenience for the other person. But there's a silver lining. Recognizing this painful truth opens our eyes. It empowers us to seek and nurture bonds that are genuinely reciprocal. It urges us to value ourselves enough to demand relationships where emotional support and presence aren't just expected, but are freely given with love. As you navigate the complexities of human connections, ask yourself, who is genuinely there for me when the going gets tough? Who shows up not only in spirit, but in action and empathy? These are the relationships worth cherishing, the ones that will weather life's storms by your side. Remember, it's not about finding people who will never let you down. It's about finding those who, when you do fall, are right there to help you back up. If you've made it this far, you're one of the few who are truly seeking growth. Let's continue. Principle number 7, used as a tool. This isn't about offering a hand or mutual support. It's about feeling like a tool in someone else's toolbox, used only when convenient and discarded when not. Imagine this. You're always the first call when someone needs help, advice, or a favor. But when the tables turn and you're the one in need, there's a deafening silence. Your phone remains still, and your messages go unanswered. You start to question if you're valued for who you are or just for what you can provide. This realization can sting. It's a mix of disappointment and anger, colored with a hint of betrayal. You remember times you went out of your way to assist, to be there, to support. But in your moments of need, where was the reciprocity? The absence of this mutual care and respect signals a one-sided relationship where you're more of a resource than a valued companion. Facing this truth is tough. It forces you to look at the relationship through a new lens, questioning its depth and sincerity. It's a wake-up call to reassess your boundaries and consider the worth of connections that are contingent on your utility rather than your humanity. This step, though painful, is crucial for your emotional health and for cultivating relationships that are genuinely nurturing and reciprocal. In the end, it's about understanding that you deserve a relationship that's not just about taking, but also about giving, a balance of love, respect, and mutual growth. Embarking on a journey to truly understand and navigate the intricate world of human relationships is both challenging and rewarding. The fundamental truth we must all embrace is this: you are worthy of relationships filled with mutual respect. If you found this video valuable, Subscribe for more insights, hit the notification bell, and show your support with a like and comment.